Welcome to Founder Stories. I'm Mike Abbott. With me today I have Mikkel Svane from Zendesk. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little about Zendesk.
Yeah, so Zendesk, we are a software company. We produce a customer service platform that are being used by great companies all around the world. More than 30,000 businesses are using Zendesk to provide great customer service, great customer care to more than 200 million end users out there.
Great. And when did you start the company?
So the company is 5 years old. We launched the product October 2007 in Denmark, Copenhagen, thus the funny accent, and bootstrapped it out of Copenhagen a few years before we moved over here.
Mm-hmm. Now, moving a company from a different country to here, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, was it your choice, and did people that were part of that original company stay in Copenhagen, or how did that work out?
Yeah, so we were a very virtual bootstrap company. So in many ways, it was just the three founders. We had some different people helping us on and off. And once we decided to move to San Francisco, we tried to get everybody to move here, relocate everybody. So we had the core team here. But until then, it was all virtual. I think we started to pitch US investors, American investors, in 2008, which was a great time to pitch investors. But we were very successful in landing our early investors, and very, very lucky and fortunate in all of that. And of course, US investors, they want their portfolio companies close to them, which is understandable. And I think we had the TechCrunch dream, the TechCrunch bug, you know. There was no doubt that we wanted to get over here and try it out and live the dream in many ways.
So you moved the company over,
yeah.
And then you fast forward about 6 years. Now the company's 400 people, and you've got offices across the US and across the world.
Yep.
Now one of your offices I find interesting, you have an office in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yes.
So tell us, why did you put an office there, and how has that worked out for the company?
No, that's a funny story. I think I ask people all the time, how did we actually end up with an office in Madison? And I think I hear a different story each time. But I think it was something about a couple of guys that we hired that was supposed to relocate to San Francisco. That didn't happen, but we found out they were really great guys. So we hired them where they were, in Madison. And because they turned out to be really great, and because they had a big network to hire from, we just started to adding more and more people. And I think we have 12, 14 people there now. And now we looked at all the demographics of the area. We looked at the schools, the university, of course, the recruiting platform in general. And I went up there a few weeks ago. It's a great place. So now we decided to set up an actual hub there. And scale it to 100 people initially.
Wow. Yeah, because I don't know of too many companies that are kind of tapping the talent that are coming out of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's interesting. Yeah,
so I think there's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of great people coming out of that university.
So then the next logical question is, you will have a team of 100.
Yeah.
You've got 270 people here. So you got roughly 130, Madison, in the EMEA, Europe,
yep.
Asia.
Yep.
What have you found to work on the communication side, and what things have you tried that just didn't work on keeping everyone on the same page with what you're doing?
I think that when you build a company today, there's a lot of tools to keep you really well connected, even though you're very disconnected physically. So one of the things that I keep coming back to that I think is really, really important for the company is that we use Yammer. So that was our good neighbors when we lived in this building. They had just moved in as we moved in, and we grew up in the same pace and everything. And we had relatives that worked together across the companies and so on. It's a very fun phase when we were in this building. But we've always been using Yammer since the very, very early days to keep everybody on the same page. So we don't police our Yammer. I ask people to share whatever they think is necessary to share. Share their successes, share their failures, share their troubles, share their funny stories, share their movie preference, whatever. Just get everybody a feeling for each other around that virtual kind of meeting place that Yammer has become for us. So I think that's not, of course, not the only thing. We do a lot with training. We get every new employee comes to San Francisco, spend a few weeks with us. We do training. They come on a regular basis every year at least. We have people from the San Francisco office visiting our local offices. We have people coming in on visas and so on. So we try to be, we try to keep this culture of exchanging a lot and traveling a lot and really getting to know each other as people. I think getting the individual people to know each other is the kind of the platform for building good kind of structures that can scale globally.
So as you've gone from 0 to 400, I'm kind of curious, when did you roll out Yammer, and what were some of the kind of insights that you learned as being a CEO? Because you had been a CEO before, but the company was
much smaller.
Much smaller, 35 people. So tell us a little bit about like 0 to 50. Like what were the tools you used? What did you kind of find that worked or didn't work? And then what did you have to kind of add or remove as you went to 100?
Oh, there's so many lessons, and I don't know, like, I think key is that you really, and that's where Silicon Valley and San Francisco is so important. You really need to build a great team around you. You really need to build leadership and communication in the leadership so you can scale that process. So getting good people in that can also scale their individual organizations, and having kind of a team of CEOs that can, scale the company and can work together as a group. I think that's the most important thing in scaling a company, and make sure that the leadership team all has shared values about how we want to do this, and have a leadership team that can sit around the table or sit around the dinner table even, and work together and understand each other and where each other comes from, and the issues and the troubles each of us have in our roles, so that we can scale the company. But I've had to learn it all. I knew nothing when I moved here. So I've had great help from my board. I have a great board, and we have a great board dynamic, which has been super important for me. And there's also a culture in Silicon Valley and San Francisco that you don't meet anywhere else, where you can I can go out and visit other CEOs and other founders, and they take the time with me, and that has been a big experience for me in my early days, that they all take that time with me and tell me their story. And of course I can't use their experiences for anything. That's like kids, I have to go out and get burned myself. But it just builds a much more coherent story.
I was talking to someone recently about the exact topic. Yeah. That I know when I was starting Composite, I was always impressed by the willingness of people to make time to help when there was really no reason to. And I think that kind of pay it forward culture is really what makes this place very unique. Yeah,
I totally agree, and I really try to subscribe to that, and also when people want to spend time with me, I really try to make sure I can do that, because it's just I think it fuels the growth a lot here in the region.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the other kind of shifts that your company's latched onto, which I think is interesting, is a shift around the customer.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that, and where do you kind of see that going?
Yeah, because that's of course very interesting. Our background was that we were a couple of us founders were in the industry for a few years and were kind of devastated with the quality and the state of kind of that products in that industry. So that made us sit down and say, let's just build a better product. And we got a third founder who came to it from a kind of a completely different perspective. And that was very helpful for us in not building a product for the industry, but a product for everybody. That said, we were 100% product focused. Didn't think about the market at all. Best business plan ever. I think our business plan was all about just make the customers happy.
Very succinct. Do that and you win.
So I think what have happened over the last 5 or 6 years is that the notion of customer service has changed from just being this cost center to something where you can create real, meaningful, long-term relationships with your customers and think about it as a revenue center. So I think we all realize how easy it is for us to influence our friends, our neighbors, our family about products to buy or products not to buy. We have become the primary marketing channel for companies. We really influence, and we can see that just in our business. I think almost 75% of our customers come to us through recommendation. It's a mind-blowing number. And I think our product has become a facilitator for other companies in thinking about their business that way. Really make their customers happy, and they will recommend that to other customers, and they will buy their product. That's of course also the flip side. You know, it's really easy for us to vent our frustrations about a company, and companies today, they need an ability to embrace that and kind of make sure that they are listening.
Kind of switching back to you and your CEO role. I mean, as the company has gone to 400, have you started to apply something like OKRs or an approach like that to just give you visibility to like how your company's doing? Or is it much simpler, like looking at happy customers, product shipping, awesome?
I don't know what OKRs are.
Yeah, which is it's actually an effort that actually has originated at Intel, but it's objectives and key results, and Google's a big advocate of that.
Okay. So we have a lot of different key metrics in our organization and KPIs. I think what we try to become a more and more integral part of our company culture is NPS, Net Promoter Score.
And use that as the core. If our customers are happy,
yes,
that's
exactly
the metric that we're going to measure ourselves on.
And I think I listen a lot to Intuit about their usage of NPS, and I think it's a great indicator to have, and to use that to drive your business. And it's amazing. Like Intuit is this $4.5 billion revenue software company, and we talk so little about them in Silicon Valley. And they've done amazing things for the small medium business market, which is also an industry we are in. And I think we have a tendency to go full enterprise when we talk in the Valley and in San Francisco about our business strategies. And I think they've shown amazingly how you can really scale dramatically a business for small businesses.
Let me ask the question a little bit differently. For you as the CEO, like, how do you know, what are the tools and metrics that you use to understand what part of your company is working well and what parts are maybe not working as well?
So of course we have like all my different departments head. So I have a CFO, I have a chief creative officer that reports directly to me, I have a chief marketing officer, I have a general counsel, I have our sales leadership, I have our product and engineering leadership. And I think they're all using different indicators or different types
They're kind of their own CEOs.
Yeah, they are. And I think that's the kind of dynamic you want on your leadership team. And of course, we consolidate all this data to kind of feel out where we are. But it is, of course, very different data. And I haven't made any attempt to kind of consolidate and kind of or unify them.
Yeah. I just ask because, I mean, as companies grow, as you know, at 400, you get further and further distance from different aspects of the business and the company, and it can become a challenge for, especially like first-time CEOs, or to really just understand like what are the right things for me to be doing. And
as we continue to grow, like we grow 100% at least year over year. Like in the early days, we're like 300%, 200%. Now we're growing at 100% a year rate. And that stuff is just going to be increasingly complicated. And I think like we have a lot of things that we need to learn. But I think having good leadership and team is one of the things that makes it possible for me to, believe that we can scale.
And spend time with your family.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Mikkel, it's been great to have you on Founder Stories. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.